Hello to all of you. Today, this short video will cover a very specific topic, time value of money. Although it's a very simple concept, annuity factor, discounting factor, but I have often find students getting heavily confused on when to apply the discounting factor, when to apply the annuity factor, specifically because in CMA, in part 2, this will be heavily tested in investment decisions, that is section E. Also in section B, in part 1 it's there in bonds and leases section A. So understand first of all what is time value of money. The concept merely states that money loses its value over time. Why? Because of inflation. See, the philosophy behind this is that money in itself cannot be used to satisfy your basic desires. It can only be used to purchase goods and services. They will then be satisfying your wants. And the price of those goods and services keeps on appreciating. So, because the dollar value of the money is constant, it loses its purchasing power over time. So, think of it like this, that I went to market to purchase apple. The price of apple today is, let's say, 160 per kg. And I bought 1 kg of apple today. 1 year later, I again went to the market. 160 rupees today is also worth 160 rupees only 1 year later. The cash value is same, right? The RBI governor writes on every 100 currency or 50 currency or 10 currency that I promise to pay the bearer this. So the rupee or the dollar value of the note is constant. 100 rupees today is worth 100 rupees only 1 year later also, 2 years later also, or 3 years later also. But when I went into the market again to purchase apple 1 kg again, the price had gone up maybe to 180 per kg. So with same amount of money, that is 160 rupees, now I can buy less apple, not an entire kg, maybe less. So here comes the concept of time value of money, that because money loses its purchasing power over time, so therefore a dollar that is receivable 1 year later, 2 year later, or 3 year later is not equal to the dollar that is received today. Now, how is that computed? So first of all, in your basic calculations, you will get a discounting factor to be used in most of the questions. Only in part 2 section B corporate finance, they basically explain why different weighted average cost of capital comes into the picture. But basically it will be given. It's very simple actually. So let's say your discounting factor is 10%. So for the first year, it's 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power 1. For second year, it is 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power square. Third year, it will be 1 divided by 1 plus R to the power 3. Fourth year, if you have to compute, it will be 4. Fifth year, 5, and so on. Now, what is R? R here will be your discounting factor in your calculations. Now, if R is 10%, that means we will take 0.10. We will not write it as 10%. We will write 0.10. If it is 8%, we will write 8 by 100, 0.08. If it is 12%, 12 by 100, 0.12. So this becomes 1 divided by 1 plus 0.10. In the second year, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.10 to the power square. In the third year, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.10, same only calculations every year. Power 3. So it basically becomes 1 divided by 1.10. Second year, it will become 1 divided by 1.10 to the power square. Third year, 1 divided by 1.10 to the power cube, and so on for the third year. Now, how do you calculate it in computer? Of course, there is PV table also to help you, but how do you compute it? So 1, I hope all of you have a commerce calculator by your side, the basic one, the citizen one. So it is 1 divided by 1.10. So it will be 0.9090909. So I can take up to 5 decimals. Now you don't need to do much. In order to go to the second year, you can simply press and equals to. Again, I will repeat that in the first year, what you will be doing is 1 divided by 1 point, whatever, 1 plus r, so 1.10. So it's equals to, you are getting 0.909. I am taking up to, we can take up to 4 decimals also. In the second year, you are getting 0.82 this. So in the second year, just press an equals to again in this calculator, the basic commerce one. You will get the figure. So it's coming 0.8264 if I'm correct. And for the third year, 0.75. That means an interpretation is very, very important. $1 that is receivable 1 year from today. $1 that is receivable 1 year from today is worth only 0.9091 today. Again, listen very carefully. $1 that is receivable 1 year from today is worth only 0.9091 today. $1 that is receivable 2 years from today is worth 0.8264. Why? Because extra depreciation, extra inflation. $1 that is receivable 3 years from today is worth only 0.751 today. That is the basic interpretation. Now, when to use annuity factor and when to use discounting factor, since it is given in the question. So see, discounting factor is basically what I said. So if you have to find the value of $100, if you have to find the present value of $100 after 3 years. So what is the value of $1 after 3 years? 0.751. So what should be the value of $100 after 3 years? 100 into 0.751. This is generally wherever the discounting factor is used. Now, why is annuity factor used? Now, in other case, if let's say in this example only, I make a variation that $100 will be receivable every year. 1 year later also, 2 year later also, and 3 years later also from today. I'll have a same cash flow, same time interval. Then instead of multiplying it separately like 100 into 0.9091 plus 100 into 0.8264 plus 100 into 0.751, we simply what we do is we add up these figures. So annuity factor is actually nothing. We will simply add up the discounting factors for the relevant years. So we will simply add up 0.9091 plus 0.8264 plus 0.751 plus, and we will multiply it with one-time cash flow. We will directly get the present value. So remember, annuity factor is only used when series of same cash flows occur at the end of same time intervals. If there is one cash flow, discounting factor will be used. Now, understand this again, that how to go to annuity factor for those of you not very comfortable with PV table. So 10% you have done right. So 1 divided by 1.10 equals to, you got 0.9091 equals to, you got 0.8264 equals to, you got 0.7513, 3 times for 3 years. Now in your calculator, there is a button GT, grand total. Just press that. So the value that you are getting, 2.56 something, that is the annuity factor. So annuity factor has to be used only when series of same cash flows occur at the end of same time intervals. Otherwise, always use discounting factors if there is one-time cash flow or separate cash flows occurring. So that's it for this session, guys. Hope you learned something out of it. If you like this video or you found this video helpful, of course, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any CMA queries regarding classes and all, you can WhatsApp me on my number. It's constant 983 123 8847. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day.